Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman, Adventures with Rhiannon, with Stardew Valley, part number 67. And we're just jumping right on in here. You can see that we're over 225,000 in the bank. That is fantastic. Say hello to the family, including little Harvey Jr. down there. And we'll just keep right on going here with our morning. And it's a rainy day. And let's see. We've got all of the green algae and seaweed that we needed for the next fishing pond. And we also have some things that we need to take to town. So we're going to get our chores done first and run around and get all that taken care of. And look at those 3 iridium ore. Thank you so very much. So we'll get the morning chores done, and then we're going to head to town to turn in an artifact that we found last episode. And by the way, this episode is going to be pretty short, and the reason was my previous one had been way too long and I cut it down a little bit and I ended up with a much shorter episode, so that's okay. I'm sure you guys won't mind. My episodes are notoriously long, and for that I'm sorry. I am working towards making them shorter. My goal is to kind of shoot for around the 45-minute mark, and sometimes I make it and sometimes I don't, and this one's going to be a lot shorter, and that's okay. No big deal. We run around. It's a rainy day, so everybody's inside, so we're going to pick up all our goodies and we're going to give everyone a pet. For my regular episode disclaimer, my Kittens, especially one of them, is insane this morning. He has been running full tilt all over the house all morning long. Generally, by now he's crashed out for a nap, but he's just been absolutely running under things. He runs into things too. He misjudges on our slippery wood floors and slides into trash cans, walls, dressers, anything else in his way, so it's pretty hilarious. But I'm sorry if you hear any of that noise going on. Hopefully he will go to sleep soon. So here we are checking our beautiful, look at all of those ancient fruits growing. I'm so excited about that, mostly because I know what we're going to do with them. So hang in there with me, guys. We're going to get there very soon. And so we're going to put away our stuff we use for our morning chores, and we're going to run down to the cellar and see if we've got anything. Get out of my way, everybody and everything. Good heavens, quit blocking my way. If you push through something like what I'm doing right now, you'll just push right through them. So even though they block your way, you can get past them. So nothing is ready in the cellar, so we're going to put our cheese away and kind of get a little bit organized here. I've got that rabbit's foot and the mayonnaise to sell. So I'm really, at least we got something, right? We don't have a ton of stuff, but that's okay. It kind of hits you in bunches, it seems like. You'll have days where you'll make almost nothing, and then you'll have days where you make a ton. And that difference is going to be even bigger when we start having huge paydays where, you know, we're talking 100,000 or something in one day. So it really starts adding up after a while. But we'll get there and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's fun to get to that point. So we do need 200 stone for the next, you see me going crazy with my OCD, for our next fishing pond, or it's called a fish pond. So we got lots of things to do to town today, so let's head on there. We got to go see Clint, and we got to go to the museum, and then we got to go see Robin. So we got a busy day today. Oh my gosh. So we'll go to town first, and that's right there. I love that cart. It's right there by Clint. Makes it so convenient to pop over there real quick. And of course, really working on that relationship. So run around behind the counter and say hello to Clint. So that's something I've really been making a point to do because he's behind there and, you know, whatever. So we will get those frozen geodes popped there and click there and see what we got. Don't know if we'll get anything for Gunther. Yes, we did get something for Gunther. So we got 2 things to turn into Gunther today. I don't think that's a fairy stone. I think we've already got one of those. Yeah. So anyway, that's great. The more we turn into Gunther, the better. That'll get us closer to our goal, which is to completely fill the museum. Not in a rush on that. It's just kind of one of those things. There's lots of goals, lots of things to strive for, and that's just one of them, is to complete the museum collection. Hi, Penny. She's like, she wanted a quiet moment, so sorry to interrupt you. She says it twice. I wanted a quiet moment. Okay, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you. So let's see. We have got 2 items to donate today, And it kind of looks full, but actually there's a lot more space over to the right. So we'll see that later when we get closer. We have a lot to go, and I don't know how complete we are, but it doesn't matter. So turn those 2 items in. No reward this time, but that's okay. No big deal. So now we're going to go. We've got everything popped. We went to see Clint, went to the museum, and now third thing on our list today is we're going to go see Robin. And I certainly hope she's there because I get so annoyed when I forget which day she is not there. Check the board here, and okay, Kent wants a garlic. That's pretty easy. We do have garlic, so all right. See, I'm glad I've been growing that stuff because you never know when you're going to have a need for it. Tomorrow's Pam's birthday. I believe we're full hearts with Pam, so it's not as important as it would be somebody that's on the bottom of the list. If we have somebody that's on the bottom of our list, we've only got a handful of hearts, we would definitely want to try to find a loved gift for them and give it to them on their birthday. So I'm doing horrible on keeping track of that. So anyway, all right, up here on this rainy day, gonna go see Robin, and good. Oh, she's there. Yay! Construct farm buildings. And we're gonna slide over and find it, and there it is. All right. Now, what it does shows you, if you haven't seen this before, it shows you your farm, and you just kind of scroll down with your arrow keys. I'm on a PC, and it goes right over here to the left, and right, I want to make sure I put it in the right spot, right there, and that will be number 4. My purpose of number 4 is to propagate certain kinds of fish that give you 2 different things. They give you roe, and then, which is a basically fish eggs, and you can take those and age the roe and sell it, so it can be a revenue stream. They also give you other special items, and if you want to know what special items the fish in the fish ponds give you, you can check the wiki. There is a link to that in my description of this video, and or you can just play around with it. So we'll see when we get that fish pond what I decide to do with it. The other 3 are going to be used to create the coral that is needed so that we can continue to use that in the oak resin to make our deluxe speed grow. And if this is the first episode you've watched of mine, I want to make my farm completely self-sufficient as quickly as possible. And to me, what that means is I don't want to have to buy any seeds. I do not buy stone or wood or coal or any of those resources that I can get myself. Instead, I wait until I gather it myself. So we're working towards self-sufficiency. And there's so many things that you could buy, like the deluxe speed grow, for instance. Well, I'm not going to do that. I want to save my money for those great big purchases, and I do not like buying things that I can make myself. So like the obelisks that cost, you know, 500,000 or $1 million to get, you can't make those yourself. So that's what I spend my money on. If I can make it myself, then I will make it myself, and I'll wait until I can. You saw me put that green algae in the chest. I learned my lesson. It's like, okay, I need to collect some of those and keep them because I could have already had all that I needed to make those fish ponds if I had thought ahead and saved some, because I was throwing them in the trash, throwing them in the shipping bins, and doing all kinds of things that I wished I had. Looking back, I wish I had remembered that I was going to need them. So I'm keeping my charcoal kiln and my furnaces cranking, just because I don't want to run out of the ore bars for any reason. You can see I have 11 iridium ore bars. That's fantastic. What those are going to be used for is we are going to expand this huge farm area into all the way to the edges where you're seeing the walkway paths. We're going to expand it down there, and oh boy, look at that. Isn't that pretty? We're going to expand it all the way down there so that so I need a lot more sprinklers, but I'm going to switch them to those iridium sprinklers. So that's what we're saving those up for. We're going to need quite a few of them, but if you want to, I have a plan in my head on kind of how the layout's going to look. If you want to see what that's going to look like, you can go to my playlist. I have reviews of games, and one of the games I reviewed was Stardew Valley. And in that review, I show what a 10 or 11 year farm looks like, what mine looks like. I can't take the credit for for the design of it. I stole the ideas from the wonderful people on the forums. There's a link to this in the description as well. Highly encourage you to go to that forum, create an account if you don't have one, and send a message, put some posts out there. Those people are fantastic. I've been talking to them for many years. They're giving me a lot of help along my journey here in Stardew Valley. So I really do appreciate them and want to give them a plug for the fantastic farm layout designs that they have posted. That's how I ended up with this. I kind of took pieces from the different ones I saw that I liked and created my farm to look like those. So that's how I ended up with it. I noticed I had some strawberries that were ready to harvest, so I grabbed those real quick. And you can see we really don't have very many strawberries right now, but that's okay. We didn't have them our first year. We had them our second year, so we don't have a plethora of strawberries just yet. But we'll keep working on it. I was looking at the date. The date, it's already past the 15th of the month. Starting with the 15th of the month, I start the seed creation. Again, this goes back to being self-sufficient. So I'm going to start creating the seeds that we're going to need for summer. And my main crop in the summer is going to be melons. So that's why I started with a handful of the melon seeds, or melons, to make melon seeds. Every once in a while you get a mixed seed. You can also get an ancient seed every once in a while. It's kind of a random thing. So it's okay. That's kind of cool. And we need those mixed seeds. Those are actually a resource now. So anyway, I was looking and see how many do I currently have the melons, and the answer is I have just a few. I have very few seeds. I've got, as you can see, those are the summer seeds, and they're assortment of forageable, I think. And then I got some tomato seeds. So I was looking at my vegetables and saying, okay, what can I start throwing in the seed maker? I know I'm going to grow blueberries. I know I'm going to do red cabbage. The pickled red cabbage sells for quite a bit. So I consider that my secondary crop. Usually I have a main crop, a secondary, and sometimes a thirdary. A thirdary? That's not really a word, is it? Sometimes I have a third crop that I'll put into when I can't, don't have enough days to plant those and have them harvest in time. Then I do other smaller things that I'll just have a few of. I do that each season. So for now, we're going to get as many of these melon seeds as we possibly can, because this is going to be a big growing this time, or going to be a big change this time. So we may have to end up buying some for Pierre's, but we'll see. Again, I hoped that by the end of the third year, or at the beginning of the third year, I wouldn't have to buy any seeds, but we may have to. We'll just see. At the very least, we're going to cut down on how many, for sure. So right now I am putting in the red cabbages and some blueberries. I don't really know how many I will need of each. I know that when I had my 11-year farm, when it was full of production, I tried to have 500 seeds of my main crop at the beginning of the season. And that was more than enough, so I really should count. That was kind of an arbitrary number that I came up with that seemed like enough to get me through the season, but I really should count and see how many I need, so I don't know for sure. I wanted to double check that delivery. It's like, what was it that Kent wanted? He wanted a garlic, and I was like, where is my garlic? What season? It looks like it might be spring. There we go. So we do have a garlic. So again, that's another reason why those some of those things I just grow them to have on hand. You may need them for cooking. You may need them for quests. So I don't grow a ton of them. But at the end of the season, when I've only got 6 days or 7 days, and I don't have enough to grow any of the big crops, then I go ahead and do the smaller crops that grow really fast. So look at these. Oh my gosh, aren't they pretty? And I want to run down here real quick and go see if I can find Kent's house. There's like 2 little houses on the bottom edge of the actual Pelican Town, and I always forget which one Kent lives in. So I'm going to show you how you can find out when you get right to this point. You hit your M or hit your thing and go to the map, and so it's the left house, so the blue one. So I just put my mouse on it and it says Kent lives here. So we're going to run over here and say hi to Kent. You know, it's interesting. This game is a very happy game. It's fun. It's very child friendly, but on the background, you know, he's he's got PTSD, Kent does, and he's talking about the lost soldiers. So there's kind of a darkness with some of these characters that's kind of underlying. So I don't think it would be enough to make a kid not play this game. They're probably not going to pay attention to that kind of thing. But for adults especially, it's kind of like a darkness that is there. I mean, there's other things that you can see. There's somebody that smokes. We've got a town alcoholic. You got homeless people, a person. So I find it to be really interesting that is there. It kind of adds to the depth of the game. To me, it doesn't take away anything from the game, but it is a depth there that I find to be really interesting if you pay attention. If you don't pay attention, you're not paying attention to what they say, then you wouldn't even notice it. But it makes you feel kind of bad for Kent and his family, because they do mention about him and what he's going through. So I was kind of looking here, and when I walked along, it popped that cobblestone in my path. That's because of a lightning strike. That it strikes your walkway, your pathways, and when you walk over it, it'll stick it in your pack, and you can put it back down if you're paying attention. So I think that what we're going to have to do is make a trip to the mine again. We need a lot more stone, and we have 5 pieces, and that's what we're using for our pathways. Eventually, I'm going to change all of this to be the wooden pathways. I'm not ready to do that yet. So for now, I do need more stone to make more pathways. You can see we have 4 pieces. That's not going to cut it. So it's a little late in the day, but I think that we're going to have... What did I do? I click on the wrong thing. Oh, I only clicked 9 pieces of wood. Pay attention when you're talking. I was thinking, how your brain just goes off into a different direction. That's exactly what happened in that moment. I wasn't thinking what I was doing. I was thinking about something else. So, by the way, iridium sprinklers, gold, iridium, and batteries. So we're going to need all of that to make those iridium sprinklers that we're going to need to rebuild our planting area. So I had picked up that coal and thought, okay, let's go down here. It's 8:40. It's not super late. We got a little bit more time. I'm thinking, let's work on our seeds. I'll be doing this off and on periodically for the rest of this season. We've got 11 days left in the season, and obviously I don't want to stand here and spend the entire day making seeds. So that's why I started doing this halfway through the month, just kind of periodically coming in here and making seeds. Eventually, we'll have many more seed makers. I'll have them all along that right side wall. So we'll probably end up with, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, maybe whatever will fit there, and be able to just continue, pump a lot more into them. I just don't have the resources right now that I want to use to make more seed makers. So that's why eventually when you're making, 5 or 600 of your main crop, you are definitely going to have to pump these things through the seed maker, pump your produce through it. So obviously we're going to need a lot more soon. So I wanted to mention the thing about the sheds, and that you can expand them on the inside. It doesn't really change the outside, but it will. It doesn't footprint of it, but the inside will be a lot bigger. I'm not going to expand the size of this shed because when I've done that before, it just makes a much longer empty space in the back that I don't need. I have my chests exactly where I want them, and so I'm not going to expand this one. The other 2 sheds we will expand, because that is the one for the preserve jars and the other one is for the wine kegs. And so I want to expand that so I have more room on the inside to put more of those. I thought that was a good use of our time there to go ahead and pump those seeds through. And I'm looking at the spring seeds just because I thought, we're getting to where, how many more am I going to be able to plant? I was looking at how many it takes. Potatoes, 6 days. It looks like it's 12 days for cauliflower. Well, if you add 12 days to 17, what do you get? That's 29. So I can't plant another round of cauliflowers. So it looks like I'm only going to get 2 for this year. I was also looking at, garlics are 4 days. Looking at those parsnips, potatoes. So those are things I'm going to have time to plant and get them to harvest before the end of the season. So I am going to be planting those when the cauliflowers are gone or have harvested. So that's what I was checking. And I was thinking, okay, what do we have? A garlic, potatoes, strawberries, beans, you know, I don't know if I have enough time to make another bean plant. I really don't like the green beans. Because they're in the way. When you plant a green bean, it becomes a trellis, and it absolutely gets in your way, so it's kind of a pain in the neck. Looks like I got 52 melons. It's just, I know that's not going to cut it. It's not going to be nearly enough, but that's okay. Like I said, we will do as many as we can to be self-sufficient, but in the end, if I don't have enough, I will go to Pierre's. It's not that big of a deal, but eventually I will never go to Pierre's. A few years into the game, I'm absolutely producing everything that I want to produce myself, so that makes me very happy to be self-sufficient. That's one of my, and everybody can have their own game goals. You know, that's kind of the beauty of this game. Make your own. It's whatever you want it to be. And that's something that I had strived to when I first started playing this game. It was important to me. It's like, I want to be self-sufficient. So I don't know, with this playthrough I'm doing the same. So thank you for watching this short episode. I do appreciate it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and give that video a like too. All of that helps YouTube like me better. It also makes me know that I'm doing something that other people find valuable. So thank you again so much, and the most important thing is I want you to have a wonderful rest of your day.